Hello, it's Mr. Ward here, and I am happy to say hello to you. Hope that you're doing well wherever you are in this time. Today, I'm going to teach you about something called timbre. Timbre is the color of music. Now that might seem kind of strange. You don't usually think about music having a color. But that's one of the things that makes music so interesting, is that there are so many different sounds, so many different colors of sound that we can have. Now we use these words, some of these words and more, to describe timbre. So we have the words light and heavy, those are opposites. The words dark and bright, those are opposites, and we have smooth and bumpy. Those are opposites. So if we think about light and heavy, I have here a weight. Now this is a 12-pound weight. It's pretty heavy. If I did this for too long, I would run out of energy. This is 12-pound weight. And I also have here, this is the leaves of a hydrangea plant that I found. It's very light. Very light, like a feather. And so music that has light or heavy sounds, here maybe on my keyboard I'm going to play an organ sound, and here it is. This is a pretty heavy sound. That's not a light sound. But if you play some piano notes, those are kind of light sounds, right? Then we have dark and bright. Now if we think about dark, we're thinking about like dark, like if I do that it gets really dark, doesn't it? Right now it's pretty bright because I have lights on. So music that would sound dark, again if we go to the organ, even though these sounds are high, these are kind of darker. Or these are really dark. Those are dark sounds. Whereas bright sounds, you wouldn't say those are dark sounds. These are pretty bright sounding. Right? Or I have this little glockenspiel here. These are very bright sounds. Those are very bright. Oh, here's the mallet. I'll play it with the mallet. Those are very bright sounds. I would also say that these are light sounds. They're light and they're bright. Here's another sound that you might say. Would we say that this is light or heavy? It's a pretty light sound, isn't it? Would you say it is dark or bright? That's hard to say. Probably a little brighter sound. I have two drums here. This is actually a Turkish drum that my neighbor gave to me. He found it somewhere. And then these are bongos here. So if I play the bongos, would we say that's a bright sound or a dark sound? Say that's a pretty bright sound. And then how about this? Listen to this one. Say that's a pretty... Would you say that that is light or heavy? It's kind of a heavy sound, isn't it? And would you say it's bright or dark? I would say that's a darker sound. So we have these words that we use because we have lots of kinds of drums, but they all have a different color. Remember timbre is the color of music. And so all different instruments have different colors. One more set of words we have are smooth and bumpy. Smooth and bumpy. Here on my keyboard I can make it have kind of a voice sound. So listen to how smooth this sounds. Sounds so smooth and crystal, doesn't it? Or if I switch to vibraphone, this is called the vibraphone. Listen to how bumpy this sounds. You can hear the bumps in it, can't you? You can hear the bumping. It's kind of bumpy. It vibrates. You could say it has a vibration to it. One more thing. I just want to make sure that you're understanding what timbre is. Timbre is the color. And again, these are the words we use to describe timbre. Light or heavy, dark or bright, smooth or bumpy. These are the sounds that we're not talking about. When we talk about timbre, we are not talking about dynamics. Dynamics are how soft or how loud the music is. So when you describe the timbre, don't say that the timbre is soft. That's dynamics. When you're describing timbre, don't talk about how high or how low. So here's some high notes. La la la. Here's some low notes. La la la. That's not timbre. When we talk about soft and loud, here's some soft notes. La la la. Here's some loud notes. La la la. This is not timbre. So don't say the timbre is loud. Don't say the timbre is high. Again, we're going to use these words. Light, heavy, dark, bright, smooth, bumpy. So your job now is going to be to find something that you can make music with around your house or around your home. And it could be just about anything. Like I was just looking around in my kids' toys and I found this jingle bell. So you could do music with a jingle bell. This is just a jingle bell they got somewhere around Christmas, maybe this year or last year. So this is a jingle bell. How would you describe this sound? Let's look at our timbre words again. What word would you use to describe this? I would say it's much more of a light timbre, not heavy. I would say it's more of a bright sound, not dark. And I would say it sounds more bumpy than smooth, right? So bumpy, light, and bright. And then I kind of made this little instrument. I just took an old cinnamon container and I put some rice in it. Some basmati rice that we don't eat very often. We had it for a special recipe. And so I can make music with this. You can make sounds with your mouth too, right? And how would you describe this? So, what words would you use to describe this sound? Would you say it's dark or bright? I might say this is a darker sound, right? It's not very bright. Would you say it's bumpy or smooth? Probably more bumpy, right? And then I just found my son, these are pretty nice slippers, I thought. And I thought, what could I do with these slippers? Well, I can make a pattern with it. I could also, they have kind of rough on the bottom, so I can do that too. So I found some things, and then you can describe again. How would you describe the sounds of a slipper? Think about it. So if you look at the assignment, I have the directions about what you're supposed to do. So follow those directions, and I hope that you learned a lot about timbre today.